final destination between going and gone.
Trey Hensley here in Studio B. May I impose on you for another song?
Absolutely.
All right.
I'll do a song that Rob and I wrote with Steve Warner. I guess back when you know in the early 2020 days of us being at home, we did a Zoom write with Steve Warner, and it was funny because Rob and I did a few of those Zoom writes together. And it went about like how you would expect, where it's like, you know, we're obviously in two different places, so you end up talking over each other a lot. If you have bad internet service,
right,
you think the other person's really quiet, and they're not, you know. But we had a good time with Steve, and we ended up writing this song, and he sang and played on it, you know. And so yeah, it's one called what is the name of it? One White Line at a Time. Yeah. One I wrote. Well, barbecue chicken, well, I'm stopping and getting, rolling through Memphis and eating it on the go. Mississippi River in my rearview mirror, the roads are getting rougher and the traffic's moving slow, but I gotta take one white line at a time. I gotta put another town behind me, another billboard sign. It's hard not to be in a hurry when you're waiting out there for me. I gotta take a one white line at a time. This time tomorrow night, well, I'll kiss and hold you tight, and there won't be nothing in this world but me and you. I'm coming up on a little rock, like a hawk I watch the clock, till I see Dallas coming into view. But I gotta take one white line at a time. I gotta put another town behind me, another billboard sign. It's hard not to be in a hurry when you're waiting out there for me. Gotta take a one white line at a time. Coming into the Lone Star State, I'm getting there, I can hardly wait. It looks like all the traffic's stopped, just gotta make it through. Well, I drive through sleet and rain, a tornado or a hurricane, whatever it takes to get me home to you. But I gotta take one white line at a time. I gotta put another town behind me, another billboard sign. It's hard not to be in a hurry when you're waiting out there for me. Gotta take a one white line at a time. Yeah, I gotta take a one white line at a time.
It's WNCW and Trey Hensley here in Studio B. Can't Outrun the Blues, the new album. Man, we found out what a guitar picker Steve Warner is back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, he's a monster, man.
Yeah,
CGP for a reason.
That's right. That's exactly right. But, you know, a fine singer as well.
Yeah, monster talent.
Had some big hits that I had the pleasure to play over the years on country radio. And I'm glad that he's still a factor in the music. And
it's actually it's great. I just hung out with him last week, and we wrote a new tune that'll be on another record that I'm working on currently. And yeah, we had a great hang, another one of those like get there and geek out on guitars and amps for 2 hours, and then write a song for 30 minutes and geek out on guitars and amps for 4 more hours.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty regular on the Opry, I think, isn't he?
Yeah,
still?
he sure is.
And you have had your share of Opry visits as well.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I love the Opry, and I'm playing there again Friday night for the record release.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be there playing at some point on the show Friday night and doing 3 songs. I'm doing 2 of the songs on the record, and then one. I'm working on a record with Brian Sutton producing right now, and so I'm going to do a kind of a country song on the Opry. But yeah, you got to do that while you're at the Opry.
Sure.
Bring out the country stuff. Let the steel player play.
Yeah. I don't think we need that more and more steel.
That's
more
right.
Fiddle.
More steel. It's funny because the house band will play on whatever you want them to play on, and there's steel on a couple tracks on this record, but they're very there's 2 songs that have them that are very country leaning. The rest of it's very bluegrass, but it's like, just go ahead and play steel on everything. Just be there.
Yeah, I used to aggravate folks sometimes when I'd say, I'm going to put me a bluegrass band together. I just don't know who I want to play pedal steel.
That's right. Who's going to play drums and steel, man?
And they're like, they look at you like you got 2 heads or something.
Hey, Flat Scruggs had drums, He
Why
play
not?
drums.
Why not? Yeah. They're all acoustic instruments.
That's right, yeah. Banjo's a drum. I don't know about pedal steel. That's a hard sell, but I'm all for it. I'll be in support of your band.
Okay. Well, thanks. And I can't play a doggone thing, so I mean, I might maybe a tambourine.
You go.
They're not in bluegrass either.
Hey, they are now.
I was going to ask you about this. We talked about Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and working with them on that. And of course, what's impressive is the list of folks who have influenced you over the years has your list of collaborations has caught up,
Yes.
with the list of influences.
Yeah, it's been great. We got to work obviously with the Dirt Band quite a bit, and that's one of those first records. I think everybody, since that thing came out in '71, everybody's been influenced by that Circle album, and so that was one of the first things I remember hearing, as a kid, and then I've gotten to work with so many different people. I mean, we used to play with Steve Vai a few years ago.
Wow.
Sat in with the Stone Temple Pilots in
I was
Atlanta.
getting to that. I was getting to that. Put me on my heels right there.
Yeah, that was so fun, man. I've become friends with Robert and Dean DeLeo on Instagram a few years ago, and we've talked, and I guess Robert called me when they were putting together this tour, and he just sent me their tour dates, and like, man, if there's any time you can come out and hang and play with us, that'd be great, And unfortunately, the only time that worked for me, they were playing in Atlanta, and so it was good. I mean, got to hang out with them all day. Brought my family, and my daughter got to have some rock and roll catering, and that's surprisingly better than bluegrass catering.
Really?
That's hard to believe, but the rock and
Really?
roll world has it slightly better. I was shocked.
Wow, that's surprising to me, man.
That's it, Bojangles biscuit anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was shocking.
Well, I thought that was pretty cool. And the family, could you bring the family out for the grunge fix? I mean, that's pretty cool.
It was nice, man. And those guys are just the greatest, and
Yeah.
they were super sweet, and they rolled out the red carpet for us, and it was nice. It was I got to hang with them that day, and Rick Beato was there, and so we just all had a big good times, like a just a fun hang, and then played I don't get to play electric guitar that often, and so I got to play, Dean DeLeo's B-Rig, which is a cranked Vox AC30, quite a bit different than the acoustic thing, but it was a good time.
Life is about variety,
That's
isn't
right,
it? Yeah. All right. Well, when I was reading that, I remembered hearing about that. What was it? A couple of years ago.
Yeah. It's been about 2 years now.
And I was like, wow, this.
Yeah.
Like, Trey's the coolest.
I don't know about that, but it was a good time.
But if you get a situation and folks call you like that, man, I must be doing something. People are noticing.
Yeah, it's been great, and then I've gotten to talk with some of my heroes. Richie Blackmore reached out through Instagram, and it was another one of those guys. Like, I've looked up to Richie Blackmore my whole life, and you can't be a guitar player and not go down that road.
Sure.
Here Deep Purple and Rainbow, and he was very kind. And actually, I was on the road with Tommy Emmanuel when I got that text that Richie Blackmore had talked about me and Tommy on a podcast or something. And,
That's because you're two face melters. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, who's not gonna notice?
Guilty by association with Tommy. He makes everybody look good.
Mercy. I'm telling you, and that Brian Sutton too, and and his name's been popping up a bunch lately, collaborating and
yeah. What I mean, I think in the modern era, it doesn't get better than Brian. I mean, even when you look historically through guitar players, he's at the upper echelon of greats, and so I think we're especially, everybody that's come kind of after Brian, we're all have him to thank for a lot of things, and I will say that one of the most intimidating things I've ever done in my life is to try to play guitar on my own record with Brian Sutton producing it. It's like, no, this is not right, dude. I'm not gonna get a guitar out, but he's so great, but it's been amazing because he kind of reached out to me about working on a country project, and so that's what the next album is going to be, a little bit more country leaning, but we're still in the process of working on that one.
Wow. Well, in the STP thing, I was like, there's been several bluegrass records that's come out in the last few years, I'll say. People covering songs like from the 90s. Like it kind of surprised me. Ashby Frank just put one out. It kind of
I heard the Foo Fighters cover. Yeah, that's great. Well, I think we all listen to that stuff, and and I was born in '90, and so I didn't get into the Stone Temple Pilots until I was in my teenage years, and but they such clever songwriters, and it's funny just to sit with those guys and play acoustic guitars, and we did like a bluegrass jam. They changed their whole show and had me come out and do like a little bluegrass jam with them, and then we did Plush, where I played electric guitar.
Oh man!
And then we did, we were talking about doing a cover of Interstate Love Song at some point, with me singing it, and so hopefully that'll happen.
Well, the year you were born, I was on a rock radio station, and we were kind of classic rock. And,
right.
That stuff was coming around, and we were still kind of old timey. We were like, no, we're not playing that stuff.
Yeah.
But later on, they did.
Yeah.
But not while I was there.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to remember what the most progressive thing we might have played as a current backup, but it doesn't matter. But that music has aged well.
It has. I mean, and their songs are just still great songs, and no matter how you kind of break them down, like when I did, I hear all those guitar parts and all that heavy music. But then when they would break it down to just the acoustic thing, it's like, man, they're just great songs. At the bottom of it, it's just a really well-written song with clever chord changes, and that's, that beats everything else. And Brent Mayer kind of made that comment when we were talking about a couple of these songs on this record, not that I'm comparing in any way, but he's just saying, like whenever there's a good song, it can go a lot of different ways. And so, that's a good sign versus, this song has to be a certain way for it to make sense,
Yeah.
But
sometimes it takes a bluegrass cover to realize the real goodness of a song.
Yeah, I think bluegrass really brings out the best of music. It's like you can't fake anything in bluegrass. It has to be authentic. And that's why, I mean, most of my records that I love the most are, the Tony Rice stuff and all this stuff that was just live in the studio, and it's just a bunch of people in a room playing music together, and there's no, there's nothing else going on. There's no ulterior motives. There's nothing, there's no auto-tune, and, not to be a old man yelling at the clouds, but it's like I didn't want any of that to touch my records.
Yeah.
And thankfully with even mine and Rob's stuff, it never has, and I don't foresee us doing a auto-tune Latin record anytime soon. But you never know, man.
Well, keep your options open.
Yeah. When my all electronic album comes out, we'll talk then.
Okay. Well, we've got a show for that. It's called Eclectic Electric. It's on Sunday nights at 9. And
I get my Moog synthesizer.
There you go.
We're gonna rock,
I have guest hosted on that show, and people listening, they were like, "No way, that's the same guy."
Yeah,
like the bluegrass man. But I grew up listening to lots of stuff, and the electronic music, especially like in the 80s and the 90s.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, great stuff in there, too.
There's a lot of choices. That's right.
Yeah.
But, if you do that, let me know. Okay.
Right. I wouldn't wait around on it or anything, but it's it may be come down the pipe.
But, yeah, some of those rock songs and different things, and you get hold of a good arranger, and all that. The bluegrass really makes the songs honest for you.
Yeah, it does. And you were talking about the Ashby track. It's such a great track, and it is cool to hear those songs that you've heard forever in a different light.
Well, I think when he started releasing and the stuff they sent out with it, the info he sent out, so like, you may not, this may put you back a little bit, initially, but this song, but give it a try.
Yeah, it's great, and I think even think that we didn't do anything too out there. We did an Unknown Legend cover, Neil Young song, and Up on Cripple Creek was the two covers on this record, and both of them were kind of unintentional. I mean, the originals are so great that it's hard to imagine them in any other light. But
right.
I love them, and we had a good time recording them, so that's all that matters.
That's
that
right.
comes out in the record,
Right.
So.
Well, you enjoy doing it, and the listeners enjoy it. That's what matters.
Yeah, hopefully it all connects at some level,
And us, if we radio hosts like it too,
that's a big thing. That's a big thing.